if I tell you, okay, you're gonna spend 30 hours per week doing something, and you can make $40,000 per year doing this. I'm gonna tell you how you're gonna do it. I'm gonna give you exclusive territory. It's gonna be yours. Nobody can take it away from you. How much are you willing to pay for that opportunity?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Tuesday, and that means one thing and one thing only. That means it's time for our Owner Talk podcast. Over 15 weeks, this podcast maps out as we start from zero on our campaign to support Mexican tourism post-COVID. Over 15 weeks, me and my co-host Peter will be covering our journey of how we try to distribute 1,000 bookings per month to quality car rental companies in Mexico. Join us on our journey as we try to sign partnerships, drive traffic to our website, and try to make everything work. And watch us succeed or fail miserably. Join us and learn with us what to do and what to do not. With this exclusive all access to Practical Business 101.
All right, hello.
Hey, Pavel, nice to hear from you again.
Welcome to another episode of Owner Talk podcast.
Thanks. Welcome to you too as well. How's it going?
It's going well. We are working as usual on our 1,000 bookings per month to quality rental companies in Mexico. That's been the agenda of the last week. That's the agenda this week. So I think it's a recurring thing.
It's episode 8.
It's episode 8, exactly, week 7. And I think today we have maybe up to 3 topics that we want to talk about because we want to change the format of the show a little bit, right?
Yeah, we want to stick a little bit strictly to specific topics which we choose ahead of time. And today we're definitely. Last week was really busy. That was it's like it's taking off. It's really speeding up all the stuff that we're doing. And we basically chose 3 main things that we want to talk about today.
Yeah, and I would also add one thing. It's not just about sticking to 3 topics, but I would say we're also trying to set a little bit of a time limit on ourselves because all the episodes have been 30 minutes. Or more, usually around a 30-minute mark, and we're trying to bring it down under 20 minutes. So we got 3 topics, as you say, and or as you said, and we're going to try to keep it under 20 minutes. So
we're going to keep it under 20 minutes with these 3 topics. One of them is the general preparation of the Playa del Carmen campaign, which we started last week. Then we want to comment a little bit on the pitch deck and possibly territory creation concerning the franchise program which we're building, which we mentioned in the last episode. And then we're going to talk about the hiring and the team creation agenda, which is also very closely associated to both of the previous topics.
Yeah. So let's see how that goes. We might talk about 1, 2, or 3, all 3 of the topics. Let's see how that goes. What shall we start with? What do you think we should start with?
Well, let's just say that ever since last week, when we decided to change the mindset, and we decided to build the franchise program for Affiworks. The thing which kind of drove us most was that we decided where we're going to do it. We're going to do it in Playa del Carmen, and we started talking about various steps to take in order to basically within a couple of days or maybe weeks have some kind of product.
So one of the things that we were talking about obviously how we're going to get to the market. The original hypothesis that we had was that we would create this website and we would drive traffic to that website through influencers. Ideally, I think in the last episode we said why that would not necessarily be the best idea, right?
Yeah, that was very well explained in the last episode.
Because that would be just a pay-to-play scenario, and then we were kind of thinking about how we would do it differently. And one of the things that came up was that we could be working with these people in Playa del Carmen, which is what we chose, right? The city to be working in.
Yeah.
We could be working with them directly, with the owners of short-term rentals, and have somebody on the ground who would be getting in touch with them, speaking with them, and so on. And I think the main question, and I'm not sure if this was mentioned in the previous episode, the main question was how would we do that? And the linear kind of thinking, or maybe the in-the-box thinking, would suggest that we would hire someone, and that person would be just running around as a hired person, right? And so we're kind of in a funny situation. I think in a situation that a lot of businesses find themselves, which is we are bootstrapped, meaning we're financing the business ourselves, meaning we have no external funding, we have no venture capital, whatever. So we're trying to figure out how we're going to make ends meet, how we're going to make it work. And so we're kind of thinking about, okay, so how can we get it to market and make it profitable? And I think, I guess if you need to give, if you want to receive,
Mm-hmm.
you need to approach things with certain generosity.
Mm-hmm.
And
The
I
flow
think,
of energy is like that.
yeah, it's full of energy, and it's a very simple thing. Basically, what we're offering is a chance for people to make income, and I would say quite substantial income, not just a little bit, but it's also about how you position it. Because you could say, okay, so we're going to hire somebody, we're going to give them an hourly wage or something, and they're just going to run around. They're going to have a set of KPIs, and I just don't like that concept so much. I think it works for a lot of jobs, but for this particular job, when you're looking for somebody to do sales, it doesn't work. And we
Yeah.
also, at the same time, we need somebody who's going to be responsible, who's going to be in charge, and who's going to feel like they own that activity, that kind of that business, right? And so, what the new hypothesis that we came up with was to create a bunch of territories and just sell those territories, kind of like a franchise concept, to
Mm-hmm.
people based on, obviously, based on how much they can make in these territories, which is
Mm-hmm.
calculated based on the number of buildings of short-term rentals that are available in those territories. So
Okay.
let's say you have each building has 20 apartments. Each apartment can make 2 bookings per month. So that means if you have 20 apartments in a building, that's 40 bookings per month. If you have 20 buildings, that 800 bookings per month. There are certain conversions, there are certain numbers that are behind it, and so on. We did the whole calculation, of course, and that gives you certain income that that person can make per year.
Yeah.
And I think if you can say how much somebody's going to make per year, give them give them that as an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually a passive income, pretty much, if you think about it after a while, right?
Well, yeah, they have to work around there. They have to grind in the beginning, but once they set it up, it's basically passive for them.
Yeah, exactly. And so what you can do, I think, at that point, you can go to the market and you can say, okay, is there somebody who thinks this is worth something? So that,
Is there somebody who's
right?
interested in basically getting this kind of income
Yep.
and this kind of living? And the question is, what are you willing to give us to pay basically for such
No,
an
no. Is
opportunity?
it worth anything?
Yeah.
I think it's a very legitimate question because you're gonna
Yeah.
be making an income. So is it worth anything? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna be offering these territories as exclusive territories. So that means, let's say, and it's a very simple question. To acquire a dollar, how much are you willing to spend to acquire a dollar? Obviously, if you're not gonna put in any work at all, then you might think, okay, so if I'm getting a dollar, I'm paying 90 cents
Yeah.
to get a dollar if I'm not doing any work at all. If, of course, you're putting in work as well, so that means
Mhm.
you're doing something, I don't know, any kind of activity, then you might be paying much less, but you still might be willing to pay 20 cents on the dollar. So let's say I spend, if I tell you, okay, you're gonna spend 30 hours per week doing something,
Mhm.
and you can make $40,000 per year doing this. I'm gonna tell you how you're gonna do it. I'm gonna give you
Mhm.
exclusive territory. It's gonna be yours. Nobody can take it away from you. How much are you willing to pay for that opportunity? It's a business opportunity. It's a franchise concept. So that's kind of what we came up with, and that's kind of what we're looking into, and that's what this whole previous week has been about, which was
Okay.
producing the process. One thing I want to say that's very important is we need to test it in the market. So
Yeah.
we're going to see, either people are going to
So is
say it's
it?
worth something or not, but we're just going to
Yeah.
test it. It's just another
I
hypothesis.
was just gonna say it's just another hypothesis, and the whole project here of these 15 weeks, which we're doing now, is I have to say it again, it's a learning process, and we hopefully
Yeah.
are gonna go ahead with this hypothesis to such an extent so that we are able to evaluate pretty quickly whether this hypothesis is on the right track.
Yeah.
Um, um, versus the other one which we abandoned last
But
week.
it's been a very, I would say it's been a very interesting week because we went through the whole process. Basically, I have this
Oh yeah.
beautiful. I was not preparing to show this, but I have this beautiful. Oh, you can't see anything. I have this
Oh my
beautiful piece of
God.
paper which is showing the whole process, which goes
Oh
basically from the opportunity promotion through the application process
yeah.
to working with the representatives and going all the way to making money from the territories, which brings us to another point, and that's your
Fantastic.
point, which
Yes.
is hiring. So
Yeah.
I'd like you to talk a little bit about hiring
Absolutely.
and what when it, because we had a lot of conversations about that
Oh yeah,
this
oh
week.
yeah. I have to say that I had to make again another mindset switch on my side. Up until now, I had this experience with hiring teams and building people who are building teams of people who are basically employed,
And you've
and
hired a bunch of people throughout
oh
your
yeah,
career. I mean, you
oh
have
yeah.
now you have a team of what, 30 people or
I
something?
have a team of 45 people,
45
and
people. Yeah.
the fluctuation. I built the last 5 years building that. Basically, the fluctuation. I've hired at least 100 people in my life,
Yeah.
so I had a bit experience with that. Anyway, this was a little bit of a mindset switch because this was building a team of business partners. It's people who we are
Entrepreneurs.
entrepreneurs who we are expected to have a little bit of a different attitude towards what we are offering and towards the
Yeah.
product which we are selling,
Yeah. Yeah.
than just basically giving them a nice spot or like a position somewhere valued at X number of dollars per hour wage or month. So
Yeah.
this is an opportunity for some people, and it was a completely different approach to the problem. I we had to basically first we had to evaluate where these kind of people are, what kind of people are we actually looking for, who are the most suitable candidates to either already be entrepreneurs in a mindset or being on the brink of becoming an entrepreneur. There we evaluated several channels to expose the offer, the advertisement, which we are going to be basically publishing within a couple of days.
Yeah.
We are at the moment using Facebook groups who are focused on people dealing with real estate in Playa del Carmen, other real estate agents or people who are having an Airbnb, for example, or other kind of short-term accommodation. And then we have people who are looking for a job, right? Because in my opinion, there are going to be definitely adepts or candidates who are going to be ready for that switch from the employment mindset to the entrepreneur, and hopefully the conversion will be good enough. So we basically somehow came up with a group of channels where we're going to publish the advertisement. We worked on the advertisement as well. That was again a bit of a mind shift. Working, building an advertisement to hire people for an occupation is completely different than actually selling somebody a business opportunity.
Yeah.
I had to twist my brain there again by realizing that we need a different kind of approach.
It's not a
And
job; it's a product. So I think that's that
exactly.
says it all. And it's an extremely interesting thing to I don't know, to think about it, because you're basically switching from a mentality
Exactly.
of what can I get to what can I give, or you're dealing with a certain
Mm-hmm.
kind of a person who's expecting to receive,
Yeah.
but to a person who's expecting to
Be,
uh, make effort and then get something. I mean, I don't want to say
contribute
that
basically.
employees are not
Yeah.
trying. Of course, a
I
lot of
know.
people are trying, but it just goes that one step further when you're
It
kind of
is.
thinking about it. Okay, so it's gonna be my responsibility. It's gonna be the type of work that I do, and it's gonna be very much based on
Yeah.
my activity and how much work I put in. But it's a great opportunity because then I can build something for
Absolutely.
myself, and I can do it the way I want it. Because like you can, if you want, you can hire people, whatever. It's just it's a completely different thing when
Yeah.
you're hiring for a job, or when you're hiring when you're selling
When you're
a
selling a
product.
product, selling a product, exactly. Which basically brings us to the whole process, because we had to, apart from the channels and the distribution of the advertisement and the advertisement itself, we had to think about the ongoing process. So we expect people to react to the advertisement and be redirected to a video, which was created by you as the founder of Affiworks and Eclipse,
Yeah.
where there is a basic outline of explaining and basic of the project, explanation of the project, and that was something that touched me very much, because that was fantastic to see how the energy which we are trying to redistribute basically just flows out of such an beautiful work of, I don't want to call it like a piece of art or something, but it's just an easy way to deliver a message. And when you put your inner feeling into it, and when you're doing it with a honest approach that you want to basically help people and bring them on board to a fantastic thing, which you believe in being a fantastic thing, then definitely there's definitely always a way to do it. And this video is definitely something which I suppose that is going to attract or bring us people to deal with. And
I'm extremely curious actually about how people are going to react to it, because it's just it's as you say, I mean, I'm really glad you felt that way about it, and
I really did.
we had a discussion about it, but of course you kind of know me, so you're a little bit biased.
Well, come
But
on,
we'll see. No, we'll see how people will react to it. I'm a little bit I'm very curious. I'm very curious. I don't think I've uh
it's honest.
I don't think I've done
It's
this before.
simple and honest, and that's why I like it. And the thing is that once somebody reacts to this video, I know that half of the work of the, I don't want to say hiring, but of the acquisition of the team is already done, because somebody who understands the feeling that comes out of the video should already be ready, basically, for.
It's based on the hypothesis that we just didn't want to make a cookie cutter video, some sort of like a salesy whatever that you see millions, I don't know, maybe not millions, but maybe hundreds of thousands of these videos online. They just keep always popping up, and we're just trying to make something
buy this,
a little
buy
bit.
that. Here we have
What
this
do you call
for you.
it?
We have
Authentic. Something authentic.
Yeah,
And
something.
I'm really curious how the authenticity is going to work. That's like because like, of course we're really excited about it. You're expecting that like you're gonna get great people, because like they're gonna fall in love with the energy.
Yeah.
I'm really curious how that's gonna end up.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll just have to see. It's a learning process again. Okay, and finally, basically, after the people contact us, we're just in the process of finalizing some kind of a Google Forms. How do you call it? What's the right English word for it? Questionnaire.
Mm-hmm.
Giving us some basic information about the possible applicant, and once he reacts to that, we're gonna actively contact him and give him all the rest of the explanation about the project, answer his question, and the final step is bringing him to an
them.
auction.
Yeah, I mean them. It could be women. I mean, let's get used to it. Let's really get used to it.
Yeah. Okay, bringing them into the last step of the process, which is basically the auction of the specific franchise territories.
Yeah. Which is still a little bit in the air if it's going to be an auction. It's something that we've discussed this whole time. I think it'd be an interesting way to do it. The question is how we're going to do it, whether it's going to work out. Obviously, we need to fill the funnel and see if people are going to show up. But I think it'd be great. The ideal scenario would be to sell. And for me personally, the most exciting part will be if and I hope it happens as soon as possible. The most exciting part will be if we sell a few of those territories to excited people who will be able to make something out of it, and will be able to jump on a plane, go to Playa del Carmen, meet with these people, do a training in person, and work with them on
team building.
Yeah, and work with them on launching the product in their city. I think that would be super exciting, and I'm really looking forward to doing that, because it's just that's for me personally, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, building the teams and working with the people that one has common values and ground to talk about. Yeah. Okay, well, in my opinion, we covered basically everything we wanted today.
we a very successful podcast today, keeping it under 20 minutes. In the next week, we're actually planning to launch the campaign tomorrow to sell the territories, right?
Yes.
So that's going to be super exactly. Fingers crossed. It's going to be extremely exciting, interesting, and I'm really curious if we fast forward to the next week, whether we're going to have people that we're going to be able to talk about, what the results are going to be, because this is the scary part. This is where, as they say, shit hits the fan, or rubber hits the road, or whatever else, right?
I can't imagine that we'll be actually talking to somebody in Playa del Carmen next week. Somebody who actually wants to jump on board. So
we're launching the campaign. So we're launching the campaign tomorrow. And that means only one thing. That means we gotta get off this podcast and get back to work, get back to the grind, and get stuff going so that it gets done.
Okay, yeah. So thanks for listening.
All right.
It's been a great week. It's been a great podcast. If anybody wants to follow us, feel free to hit the subscribe button or drop us a line on secretgoats.com, which we didn't mention today at all, but we're still working on it.
It's getting sidelined a little bit. It's getting sidelined,
but we're working on it. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
So,
good talking to you. Thank you, and talk to you next week.
Yeah. Talk to you. Bye bye.
All right. Take care. Bye bye.